Hi guys, hi! So I am very excited to bring you guys another episode of Talking to with LeFe. This episode we are going to continue with the 30 lessons that I've learned so far in my 30 years of being here on the earth. The last episode I brought to you 10, and here are the next 10. I'll get right into it, but first, before I get into it, I'm back again with the same drink. If you did not watch the last video, it's okay. This is Bacardi Lime and a pineapple mango Tropicana drink. It is so amazing. If you're in Target, pick it up. The combination's bomb. Like I said before, it will feed your soul. So the I guess number 11 lesson that I've learned so far in my 30s is that I don't have to attend every event. I had to learn how to say no to certain things. I remember when I first moved here to LA, I was out and about every weekend. And I was confused how I was doing it. Because I sure wasn't making what I was making back in Tampa. So I was like, wow, learn to say no. Save your coin. Go to the events that's really going to enrich your soul and bring, or feed your soul and enrich your mind. And I think that's what I had to decide is like, okay, I see the same thing over and over. I'm tired of it. So now you need to learn how to say no. And so I love that. Number 12, people will show you on multiple occasions who they truly are. And it's up to me to decide if I want to tolerate that in my life and how I will proceed going forward. So a good example is they keep doing the same thing and you probably brought it to their attention once or twice and now you're getting fed up with it. And now it's like, you need to make a decision because you need to accept them for who they are because they're not going to change. I'm sure at this age, you can, tell you're blue in the face. Some people just won't get it. They won't see it. And so now it's up to you to figure out if that's something that you want to deal with or not. And so I know that there has been a couple instances with some of the people that I used to hang out with that I'm like, My mom don't even talk to me like that, so why are you talking to me like that? Like, absolutely not. Not having it. So, baby, y'all know my phrase. Stage left, honey. Number 13, listen to understand. And don't listen to respond. And so, I used to think in one of my past lives that I was a lawyer. And I love to argue. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm going to argue that point down. And I think at this point in my life, in this stage of my life, it's not worth it. And I found myself listening so that I can figure out how I can move them or make a better point so I decided to make a conscious decision to listen first, to understand and comprehend. And if I need to respond, I will. But not everything needs a response. So I know some of y'all are going to be excited about that one, because I'm making a conscious effort to really improve on that in my life. And so it's a work in progress, but I do think at least I'm aware of it, I realize it, and now let's make a conscious effort to not continue old habits. Number 14, go the extra mile. It's never crowded along the extra mile. And I went to a conference a couple months ago, and that was one of the quotes. Actually, it's by Wayne Dyer. So if you Google it, That's one of his quotes, and that's what stuck with me. And I'm like, gosh, if I gave 2% more effort into something that I'm very passionate about and believe in, how much further can I go? And so I wanted to incorporate that into my life, and I hope you guys will do the same, because not many people will go the extra mile to do an extra deed for somebody or to do it for yourself. And so imagine if we invested that little bit more energy into the things that we're passionate about and the things that we love to do and the things that bring us more joy. How further in life can we get? I learned that by doing that, it tests your abilities. It strengthens your skills. And when you're faced with adversity, you're able to think through it and overcome it easily. Sorry. And so I am challenging myself from that point on, that when I first encountered that quote, is to go the extra mile. You only will do yourself a favor in the long run. So cheers to that. People who know me know that sometimes I'm a little resistant to change, and it takes me a little bit of time to really like grasp it and really understand it. And I like having a routine and doing the same thing. And so I had to learn that change is inevitable. And so I have to be flexible when I'm faced with a changing environment. It tests my ability to overcome and persevere. And sometimes I'm leading people through that. And so I have to be the face of it. And so I had to learn to really dissect what is in me that's forcing me to be resistant. And I had to let that go. And I had to really do some self-reflection so that I'm able to get through some of these obstacles or some in the changing environment, point blank period. And so I am still working on that, and I really do think that sometimes change comes to make things better, and that's what I have to kind of take that approach with the idea, so that I can, mentally get through it. So that was 15. Number 16. I think I kind of spoke to this earlier, that not everything requires a response. And so while I love to challenge and I love to push buttons and be shady, not everything requires a response. And so you don't have to give that effort and that energy to specific things. And today was a perfect example that, I was, someone was telling me something and I'm shaking my head and he's like, what am I missing? And I'm like, oh, nothing. You're not missing anything. This is just me taking it all in and understanding. But internally, I knew that it was me not having a response in my head and talking it through in my head, but it didn't need to be said out loud. And so I'm getting through it. Tonight I cooked some chicken and some rice and have some peas in there and some onions and jalapenos and peppers, and it's so good. I'll share a little bit with you guys later, but this meal, baby, if you haven't already done so, make sure y'all click that link in the bio and hit subscribe, baby. I would appreciate you guys forever. And share my Talking Chew videos with your friends. Like, they will be blessed. Even if it's one thing I said. All right. Number 17. As people, so this was a hard pill to swallow for me. Because I'm very loyal. And I feel like I should hold, and this is where my mind is a mess. I should hold a relatively high position in people's lives. You know, in my mind, that's what I thought. But as people begin to date and form relationships with other people, I had to realize that you're not the priority where you were maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. And so that is something that I had to realize, like, as their relationships get stronger, like, yours is going to change, and you have to be okay with that. But stand firm in your belief and where you stand in their life, but know that it is going to take on a different form. And so where I would be a little shy and take a couple steps back from the relationship, that wasn't the right move. I did have to reevaluate and assess the situation and figure out how I can still be a prominent, a staple person in their life, but I had to approach that with understanding that you might be now, number 2 and number 3. Y'all remember MySpace? When there was like the top 10 people, and you would see, y'all would get upset when somebody moved you to number 2 or number 3, because something you said, something you did, or whatever, and they didn't even have the conversation with you. And so sometimes I relate that to some of the relationships, and that example just recently came up in some conversations, but I think that it is a good example to use in this situation where sometimes, depending on the season, you might be number 10. At least you're still, for me, the positive side is like you're still in that circle. And so, and I appreciate that. So I wanted to bring that up. And it was a hard pill to swallow, like I said before, but I am now past it, and I can now freely speak about it. The heart has healed. No hard feelings to anyone. And that wasn't to someone specifically. It was just a general statement. So and I grew up with learning this verse, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And I believe just recently, Tammy Roman, she was giving me life, honey, preaching down on her Instagram. If y'all haven't seen it, go over to her page and just listen to the things that she was saying. And I'm like, oh my gosh. One of the things that she reminded me of was that it didn't say that no weapon was going to form. They're going to form. Tests and trials are going to come, but they're going to make you stronger. And how you react to them defines the outcome. And I love that so much because I know that we all go through things, but I feel like, gosh, in this moment in time in my life, that is every angle, something is hitting me. And while I appreciated God, I'm like, slow down a little bit. I can only handle it. No, he will never give you too much you can never handle. And so like I said, how you react, how you get through it determines the outcome. And I'm determined to get across that bridge alive, and surviving, and really to stand here to be a testimony that you can do it, that you can get through it, and that God is able, and he's going to see you through it. And so if he brought you to it, he's got to bring you through it. So I love that, and I think, thank you, Tammy, for like bringing that back to realization for me. Like, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. My last point is a couple points in this, is that there is power in the tongue. And one example that I was reading about just recently, and I think they did this test about a year ago actually, IKEA did, and they brought two plants into the same environment. You know, they exposed them to the same light, gave them the same nutrition and water. The difference was one plant was giving compliments. After 30 days, that plant was, you know, and had a bright color. It was healthy. It was thriving. It stood tall and strong. While the other plant, for 30 days, students were literally insulting it. And after 30 days, that you can imagine what that plant looked like. You know, tired, withered, droopy, discolored. And so my point in this is that obviously a plant is a living thing. And so if you speak life into your life or into your situation or to over your finances, that and go after what you want, and not allow others to deter you from your dreams and your goals, and you know, because that's their perception of you, and speak over what you have going on, it will be prosperous, it will live, it will thrive, you will thrive. And so I just wanted to leave you guys with that. Like, speak life over what you're going through, with what's going on in your life, your situation, your life itself. You know, over your dog Blanco. I speak life over him all the time, honey. But you will be a blessing to yourself by doing that. And do it for others too. Be a blessing to them as well. Once again, I love y'all for watching. Please don't forget to repost, share, comment, like. I don't know what you gotta do, but I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys and all the feedback that you've given me. It truly has helped me, and it just brings me joy to keep doing this every week for you guys. Bye.